Why do we have to take two jabs on different days and not on the same day?
I'll do the first part, and then Dr. Lim will handle all the rest. So we need two jabs because the first jab is because the body has not seen any of the parts of the virus before. And when we inject with the vaccine makes the body think that it is being infected by the virus, although it is only a very tiny portion, so it is not infectious at all. And the body will then start to be activated or very stimulated to try to get rid of this particular protein. So when the body is doing that, the cells in the body are highly, I would say, energized, but they do need to take a break. They need to take a rest. So if you want to, run a long sort of like a distance, you want to take a short break whenever possible, and then after that you can run even further. So for the body, it acts the same way. The first jab is to give the initial burst for the cells to get activated. Then we wait about 3 weeks in the case of Pfizer, and in the case of Moderna, you wait about 4 weeks. And during which time the body has a good rest, and it determines which are the good cells, the lymphocytes, to be activated again. So when we give it a second jab, now the body has even more energy and more cells to mount an even stronger response. So that's a natural pattern of inducing a very strong antibody response, and that's the reason for the second jab. Okay, there are some vaccines that are trying to come up with one jab. We haven't seen that in so-called circulation or practice yet, and these vaccines, if proven to be useful, may be quite time-saving, so people don't have to come back for a second jab. But we have to see whether those vaccines are working better than the second jab.
Yeah, many of the vaccines that we give are actually multi-dose vaccines. So typically, with the childhood vaccines, we give the shots to the babies at 3, 4, and 5 months of age, or chickenpox or MMR, they're 2-dose vaccines. So, 2 or 3 dose vaccines are actually more the rule than the exception.
Will the vaccine cover us against the new strains of COVID-19, like those from the UK, Brazil, and even South Africa, or even future variants?
Right. So right now, of course, all the companies would like to use the current vaccine that they have, and a number of them have actually done laboratory tests to show that they do protect against the new variants. There are, in fact, some companies that show that the people that they have vaccinated that carry the new variants are also protected, but maybe not in a 100% way as the original strain, but highly effective. But right now, I can say that there are some vaccines which still retain pretty good potency using their current form of the vaccine against the variants. Variants will not stop there. The variants will continue to develop because that's the nature of the virus. The virus, it's not that the virus is a brain, but the virus has the intention of trying to get into everyone's body as efficiently as possible. So it tries all sorts of doors and different ways to get in. And maybe like a few months down the line, we'll see yet another variant. And then sometime in 2022, we'll see yet another variant. So we should expect to see variants popping up all the time. And we'll just have to be one step ahead of the virus to develop those vaccines. So just now you asked a question, how is Pfizer different from the rest? Pfizer is good in the sense that they can change the formulation or the sequence of the mRNA very quickly. That's one of the selling points of the mRNA vaccines, is that within a month or two, they can actually come up with a modified mRNA, which is the exact version that matches the variants. And when you inject that into the body, then your body will develop protection against the variants in a very, very short period of time. And that will certainly be a great help to continue to fight off variants of the virus.
With the variants, basically there is less protection, but we think that some protection is better than none. The other part is, if we can get people vaccinated, it will reduce the likelihood of the virus infecting a lot of people, and including people who are immunocompromised. So, for example, if you've got someone in your household who's got active cancer, is on chemotherapy, or just had a transplant infection, they are immunosuppressed. So by you getting the vaccine, not only are you protecting yourself, but you're also protecting the person that's vulnerable, that cannot get vaccinated. If that person that's immunocompromised gets the infection, people with severe immunocompromise can actually have the virus replicating for longer because their immune system cannot resolve the infection. So by people getting vaccinated, we're actually protecting people who cannot get vaccinated, or even if they were vaccinated, they cannot have an adequate immune response.
Okay, moving on to the next question. Oh, the comments. Is this have side effects? Both have side effects? What is nonsense? Have you identified the side effects? Okay. So why are people experiencing side effects or getting ill after being vaccinated? Prof. Lim, over to you.
Sure. Have any of you gotten your vaccines? If you remember what it's like to be in primary 5, primary 6 and getting shots, or even your flu shot every year. Vaccines are medicines and vaccines are shots, and none of us particularly like shots, but it's really quite a small price to pay if you think about it for not getting certain diseases, right? So vaccines do give you that sore arm, and sometimes a headache, sometimes fever. And so your body actually has to rest, and it actually takes time to make an immune response. It's almost like a fire drill, you are trying to figure out how to deal with the real infection when it comes. So those side effects are nothing compared to the real infection.
If I have an allergy, what should I be looking out for?
Well, are you talking about an allergy before the vaccine or after the vaccine?
Oh, before.
Oh, okay, sure. Yeah. Generally, if people have a history of a severe allergy, anaphylaxis, that's when your throat closes up and you can't breathe without getting an epinephrine shot, then you cannot get the vaccine at this time. We basically want to make sure that we want to vaccinate as many people as possible, but we want to make sure we do it safely. So there are people that we cannot be sure at this time that we can do it safely. So we're saying, please hold off. Have you ever, for example, if you say, I had peanuts and I carry an EpiPen because I had anaphylaxis and ended up in the ICU or in the emergency department, then the answer is no. But if you have very mild symptoms, so, you eat, seafood and you get a bit of a rash, or, you have a little bit of a rash with an antibiotic or penicillin, you can go ahead and get the vaccine.